And starting in this seated posture, root your hips down into the earth. Lift tall through the crown of your head. Let your shoulders come up, back, and down so that your chest is forward a little bit. We tend to be kind of rounded in our sitting, so just go opposite that. Let your chest lift. Navel comes in toward the spine. And if you're comfortable here, close your eyes and take deep breaths. So the word asana literally means take a seat. And all of the practices were designed to help us sit better, to purify the vessel so that we can be clear-minded in our meditation and in our lives. So just feel this first asana, this first posture, a comfortable seat with breath. Breathe so that your chest expands. Breathe so that your ribs press out sideways and your shoulder blades broaden. As you exhale, all of that softens inward. You might notice after just 1 minute of sitting with intentional breath, energy makes a subtle shift. And that's the yoga, that subtle shift of our energy inward. Let's begin to let our body move with this breath. So on the inhale, we're going to shrug our shoulders way up by our earlobes. And on an exhale, we're going to let them roll back and down. And let your mouth open with that exhale. So inhale, squeeze. Exhale with the H sound. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, lift. Now let your arms reach up overhead. Take a deep breath in. As your palms meet, they come back to heart center with that same sound. And now start to move like that with your breath. But let's make H sound with our lips closed. And so that is the practice of Ujjayi breath, which is really important in the tradition of Ashtanga yoga. It's the victorious breath. It retains heat and it helps us pay attention. One more time, hands to heart center. With this tall spine, keep your hands here at your heart and just twist towards your right side. Ujjayi breath, that H sound. And back to center, twist to your left. Good, and then feeling your way back to center. Let your arms come overhead one more time, and this time we'll interlace our fingers, press the palms to the ceiling. Really make 2 handprints on the ceiling above you, and this is pulling your side bodies long. Breathe here. You might even feel yourself leaning side to side a bit. All right, so with those arms pressing up, we're going to open the fingers and then slowly peel the arms down to the sides. Reach the fingers behind you, press up through your chest. Take deep breaths here. And on the exhale, we're going to go the opposite. Reach your fingers out in front of you. Roll side to side so you start to feel your back body. And as we come back up, let's bring our legs around us and into a tabletop position. Here in this tabletop position, continue with your Ujjayi breath as you move through cat and cow. The inhale, you drop your belly and you pull your chest forward, chin lifts. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the spine. And for today, let's really exaggerate these two movements, maybe bending down deeper. Just really find the edges of front and back. And then we'll tuck our toes under, lifting our hips into downward facing dog. And here in down dog, this first time, this is just a warm-up posture. So continue with your Ujjayi breath while you move through your heels, ankles, and knees, hips and shoulders, and neck. Take a deep breath with me and let out a loud exhale. And then from here on out, try and keep your lips sealed and find that Ujjayi, or maybe like a Darth Vader breath. Glancing forward, bring your feet to meet your hands and come into forward fold. We're going to keep our knees soft, fingertips to elbows, come to ragdoll. Notice how your belly pushes into your thighs on your inhale. Notice how your body lengthens and softens on your exhale. Press hands to shins, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. We'll do that 2 more times. So Ashtanga is a vinyasa style of yoga, which means movement with breath. So in an Ashtanga practice, you do a lot more movement, a lot less holding the poses. Let's lift halfway, soften the knees, and scoop the arms high, all the way back to extended mountain. And then bend your knees, fly the arms behind you, straighten your legs, drop your head. Let's do that a couple of times. Scoop up. Starting to establish movement with breath. A vinyasa style of practice. When we lift, we breathe in. When we lower, we breathe out. Let's come up one more time. Extended mountain. This time, interlace your fingers. Reach for the sky with your pointer fingers. And really make your body tall. Root down into both feet. Pull your rib cage up through the side bodies and let your arms reach back as far as they will. So you're tall, but you're also, there's a slight back bend here. Ashtanga yoga follows the 8 limbs. That's literally what it means. And the first limb is called the yamas, restraints. And the first one is ahimsa, which means do no harm. So we're going to use that as the theme for our practice today. Do no harm. From here, bring your hands to your heart. Pause at heart center. And just take a moment to honor your body. Any injuries, any illness or dis-ease in your body, make a commitment here and now to practice in a way that is non-harming, ahimsa. Let's reach the arms overhead, extended mountain. Exhale, swan dive from the hips, forward fold. Pressing hands to shins, lengthen halfway. Exhale, hands to mat, downward facing dog. Shifting forward, plank pose, knees or toes. Lower your body halfway down and then melt to the floor. Peel up into cobra, shoulders on your back. Let's just pause here to get this pose. Toes press down, lift your kneecaps, lift your chest. So this is a really active, strong posture. On the exhale, lower your chin, press back through child's pose and up into downward facing dog. The thread is the breath, the Ujjayi breath. Looking forward, step or float your feet to your hands. Lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms reach, extended mountain. Find that same little back bend. And exhale, hands to heart. A reminder to honor this practice with ahimsa, non-violence, non-harm. Let's do this moving meditation again. Reach high. Fold low. Lift halfway. Breathe. Downward facing dog. Shift forward into your plank pose, knees or toes, lower halfway. Good, you guys, rise up, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Child's pose is always a nice option if your wrists don't love being in down dog. Let's look forward, step or hop, top of the mat, half lift. And lower down, forward fold. With soft knees, rise high, extended mountain, and bring your hands to your heart. Again, honoring non-violence, non-harm. Let's flow one more time. Sun A, Surya namaskar A, lift and lower. Ujjayi breath has to be here. Press to lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a vinyasa, knees or toes. Settling back into down dog or child's pose. Breathe. Fingers are spread wide. Press into your mat, lift your hips high. As we look forward, once again, feet meet the hands, lift halfway and lower. With soft knees, rise high, extended mountain. And bring your hands to your heart. Ahimsa, non-harm, non-violence. And the opposite of that is compassion. So maybe use that word for your practice, compassion. Moving into a little more of the fire, Sun B, Surya Namaskar B. So everyone bring your hands to your hips. We'll go one time super slow and one time fast. So this series begins in chair pose. And if you'd like to really practice strict Astanga, bring your big toes to touch and separate your heels about an inch. Sit your hips as low as you possibly can and reach your arms up by your ears. This is the truest sense of this posture. If that doesn't feel good, stay close to heart, all right? So fire up that Ujjayi breath and you'll feel the heat rise in your body. The name of this pose, Utkatasana, means fierce. Fierce. Fire burning away impurities. Let's lift tall again. Here's that standing back bend. Look up at your hands. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Press hands to shins, deep breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll take a vinyasa. Shift forward into plank pose, knees or toes. And then shift way forward to lower into chaturanga. Rise into either cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take the right leg up high. Exhale, step through, right between your thumbs. The back heel drops. We lift up into warrior one. Interlace your fingers if you can. Back heel presses down. Arms reach back. Lengthening through the side bodies. Ujjayi breath. This is a more fiery practice. It's more deliberate and intentional. Take another breath in. Release your hands to the mat. And let's take a vinyasa. So from plank pose, knees or toes, lower down and rise up. Using modifications. Down dog. Left leg floats high. Exhale to step through. Come up, warrior one. Again, interlace, lift up, breathe. Back heel presses. Arms float back. Find that Ujjayi breath. That's your lifeline. We're cleansing. This is a series for elimination, getting rid of. Take a deep breath in. And lower to the mat one more time, vinyasa, knees or toes. As we come to down dog, this is a great place to choose child's pose. We're here for 5 breaths. Reconnect to that steady flow of your breath. Look forward, let your feet come to your hands, half lift to forward fold. Rise up high, interlace your fingers, and come back to chair pose, Utkatasana, right where we started. Everybody check in with your experience right now. Are you enjoying the heat and the work and the flow? Are you dreading? Just notice, without any judgment, what's here now. So I'm going to lead you through Sun B, movement with breath. It moves quickly. I invite you to stay with me if it's just challenging, but not if it's painful. After this, we'll slow things down. All right? Ready. Inhale, extend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a vinyasa. Stay with your breath. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, step through. Rise up like a warrior. Breath in. And down we go, high to low. From down dog, left leg lifts. We step, we rise up and down. Try to stay rhythmic with breath and movement. And there we go. Down dog or child's pose for 5 breaths. What you're feeling right now is tapas, heat, burning away toxins, burning away impurities, burning away stress. Look forward, find the top of your mat, half lift to a deep forward fold. Inhale, arms overhead, and we finish in chair pose. Check in again. You know, some of you here are power yogis. You enjoy the heat, you enjoy the work and the effort. And some of you are gentle yogis, and you enjoy the shavasana most. Either way, you are here. Lift tall. And let your hands come back to your heart. Pausing again to honor your body with non-violence, no harm, ahimsa. Reach the arms slowly overhead. Take your time. Exhale, forward fold. We'll move into a lunge series. So keep your right foot where it is. Step the left foot back and lower your back knee to the mat. You're welcome to roll something under your knee for a little extra padding. A soft Ujjayi breath continues. You have the option to stay here and just work through this deep stretch in your hip. If you'd like a little more, tuck your toes and come to low lunge. Either way, you can stay here. If you'd like to join me in a little vinyasa or flow, we'll inhale the arms up to high lunge. We'll peel the arms out to the right into twist. And then back to center. So just move with your breath or stay in lunge. And find a flow that feels like a moving meditation. You're just exploring the inner landscape. And whatever you have chosen, let's meet again in that kneeling lunge. We'll bring both of our hands to the inside of the right foot and take a moment to just drop your knee out and in. We call this juicing the hip. Give yourself some hip love right here. And then we're switching sides. Tuck the back toes, lift the knee, and step into a forward fold. Pause for a moment to notice left and right. Things might feel a little different. Let's keep the left foot where it is. Step the right foot back, drop the knee, and come into a kneeling lunge. The second yama is satya, which means truthfulness, non-lying. So as we go through this hip opening sequence, can you be true to your experience, true to your body and what it needs? Option to tuck the back toes and lift the knee. And you can either stay here or move the arms with breath. If you're moving with breath, establish your base from high lunge, open left into a twist. It's nice and slow. Movement and breath working together. If we always practice with ahimsa, non-harm, and satya, truthfulness, we will never injure ourselves on our yoga mat. The next time the hands come down, release fingers to the floor. Let's drop the knee, hands inside the left foot, and just juicing the hip, moving that hip in and out. Nice and easy. And coming back to lunge, tucking the toes. Let's step into downward facing dog. And here, my friends, you have the option to stay or flow through vinyasa. Your choice. Let's move into a warrior series. So raising the, excuse me, raising the right leg high. Step the foot through. Drop the back heel. Come up into warrior one, this time with hands separated. Just root down through the soles of the feet, shoulders away from the ears. Set your eyes on a point. We call that Drishti. Slightly in front of you and a little bit up. One point to give all of your focus. From here, bring your hands in front of your heart. Open your hips to the side, widen your stance, and peel out into warrior two. Warrior two, the Drishti, is the very top of the right middle knuckle. Eyes locked on that one point. Slowly turn the right palm up and keep your eyes on the center of the palm. Inhale, reverse warrior. If that hurts your neck, you can turn your head in another direction. Nice, everybody. On your exhale, side angle. Right elbow to right thigh, left fingers toward the sky. You have the option, if you'd like, to go a little deeper, bringing fingers to the floor. Feel that deep pinch in your right hip and really just feel that squeeze. That's a wringing out. Take this top hand, bring it to your rib cage, and peel your left ribs up and back. Give yourself like a little physical assist, and then lift that arm again. Nice. Take another deep breath. On the exhale, hands to mat, downward facing dog. Option to stay here or flow through vinyasa. Your choice. Do you need a little heat or do you need a little rest? Let's raise the left leg high and step through, dropping the back heel for warrior one. Again, setting your eyes on a point in front of you, slightly higher than eye level. Can you have a really strong Drishti, gaze, and Ujjayi breath both? According to one of my teachers, that's the most important. Those two things are more important than any positioning of the body. Drishti and Ujjayi breath. Bring your hands to your heart and peel open into warrior two. Take a wider stance. Eyes over the left middle knuckle. Shoulders relaxed. This is the posture of focus, of taking aim, giving all of your attention to this. Nowhere else to be right now. Turn the left palm, look at the inside of that palm as you reverse your warrior. Eyes stay on that palm unless that hurts your neck. Breathe. Nice, everybody. Side angle. Elbow to thigh, fingers to sky. Or you can bring your fingers down to the floor. Take that deep bend now in your left hip. Right hand to the rib cage. Peel those top right ribs open. If you can, look up at your hand. If that hurts your neck, look forward. Find a Drishti point here. Ujjayi breath. You might notice you have more heat today than we sometimes do in class. That's intentional. Take a deep breath and then lower your hand, down dog or vinyasa, your choice. From downward facing dog, step your right foot forward again. And we're setting up for a pyramid flow. So the back foot comes in to meet, comes in a little closer to the front foot. It's a narrow warrior stance. Lengthen out through the crown of the head and fold over your right leg. Lengthen through the crown of your head and open into a twist. Fingers down and fold. So you're just going to move back and forth like that. Half lift, opening to twist. Fingers down, fold in deeper. A few more times. Might feel good to bring your hand onto your back instead of up in the air. Explore this. Right hamstring, right hip. Happy. And we'll do one more of those opening. And then let's bring the hands to center, walk into wide straddle. As you exhale down here, root your feet into your mat, lift your hips, and then just find a way to be here that suits you. Could be stillness. It could be movement. It could be anything you like with your hands. Just be here in your way. Neck relaxed, face soft. And then let's come halfway up. We'll go toward our left leg, setting up pyramid so that back foot comes in a little closer. We'll move with breath. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Fold over your leg. Lengthen halfway and then peel your arm open. Moving with your breath. Between that flat back and fold. Flat back and twist. Explore your left hip, your left hamstring. We'll do one more. And let's find our way back to that wide straddle, head down, feet wide. Here, any way you like. And let's lift up into a flat back and walk our fingers again toward our right foot. Stepping the back foot to meet the front foot, hang down in a forward fold. I'm going to play with a little bit of balance here. So when you're ready, lift to a flat back. If you have a block nearby, you might want that. I usually do for this one. We're moving into half moon. So you're going to press to a half lift and lift your left leg. You're standing really firmly on your right foot. And if you do have a block, put your block under your right hand and move it over to the right. A little bit outside your right foot and in front. Left hand to hip, heel that hip open. And this is a place to stay. This is a variation of half moon. If you'd like, you can lift your hand toward the ceiling. And I have that block kind of behind me. I'm almost leaning back into my block a little bit. If it's right in line with my foot, this balance is super hard here. So I kind of cheat it backwards. Return that hand to the mat, settle your left foot, and we're just gonna switch sides. So left hand on the block and the block's out to the left, right leg lifts. Once you feel stable here, right hand to the hip, open your hips. You can stay here or lift your arm. So that block is off my mat and behind me a little bit so that I can lean on it. It helps a lot with balance. Let's return that hand to the floor and drop the foot. Then go ahead and step back into a tabletop position. We're just going to do a few cat and cows to just reset the spine here. That should feel good after all of our standing work. So just slow down and move with our breath. Settle your hips back into child's pose. Knees wide. Maybe the block comes under your forehead for a nice little support. Allow this to be a place where you can really exhale. We're beginning to taper down into the slower, more relaxing part of our practice. Roll your head side to side. Give your forehead a nice little massage. There's still a soft Ujjayi breath, but now it's like a very soft wind in the trees. It's just a whisper. We're going to bring ourselves around to a seat. Legs extended out in front. If you have tight hamstrings, use a block, a pillow, a rolled up blanket under your knees. We're going to do seated forward fold, and if you can just support those bent knees, that feels really nice. So clear the flesh, get right on top of your sitting bones, and then reach to your toes. So those of you that have tighter hamstrings, bend your knees as much as you need to get to those toes. And then just inch your heels forward as far as you can in order to find this forward fold. Once you get there, descend. Lower your head, round your back, smile and breathe. The third yama is asteya, which means non-stealing. And there are a lot of ways we can steal. We can take someone's possessions. We can encroach on someone's time by being late. We can steal attention or energy. But in this moment, just consider that if your mind is somewhere else, you're stealing from yourself. You are stealing from yourself this experience, this moment of life. So come back here, be intentional about your presence, your focus. Rising up into a seat. If you're using any props, let them go. And come into butterfly. Let the knees open. Holding ankles or shins, sit tall. Pull your chest through. So there's a little back bend here. Chin lifts slightly. Stretch through the neck a bit. And we'll take a twist over to the right. So the right arm comes behind the left hand to the knee. Press to lengthen and exhale to twist. Let your belly breathe here. The inhale really expands your belly, and the exhale, hug it in fiercely. Like you're really trying to assist your digestive system with the muscles. Interestingly, this first series in Ashtanga is all about elimination. It's about cleansing the body of its waste. Come back to center and switch. Practicing with non-violence, truthfulness, and non-stealing, taking only what is freely offered us. This breath, this moment. And as we come back to center, use your hands to help your knees come together, and we'll roll down onto our backs. And once you get down on your back, my friends, hug your knees to your chest. This is a little hug for you. Move around on your back. You're welcome to come into happy baby or just wiggle around here on your back for a bit. And then press your feet to the mat. Let's come up into bridge. Arms rest on your mat. Hips lift up. Come onto the backs of your triceps, and you can use those to push you a little higher. And then if you like, interlace your hands. Bring your arms under you and expand the front of your body. Expand through your shoulders. This is therapy for all of our sitting, our rounding, our closing in. Imagine a warm fire and just let your body open to warmth, the spaciousness. Still a soft Ujjayi breath. If you have a block or a cushion nearby, just grab it and place it under your hips. If not, you can use your hands. We're going to let the hips settle on that item as our legs come up in the air. Viparita Karani, this is the oldest known yoga pose, known as the fountain of youth. Breathe deeply here and let your circulation reverse. Let your bodily fluids drain from your feet to your legs. This is a supportive posture for our immune system, for our nervous system, our respiratory system, our circulatory. Probably all of our systems benefit from this one pose. In fact, if you are comfortable here, you can stay longer. If you actually have a wall nearby, you could do Shavasana with your legs up on a wall. And if you'd prefer traditional Shavasana, bend your knees and begin to find your way onto the earth for final rest. Open your arms out to the sides, palms up. Flop your feet open. Feel gravity as you exhale here. This is your time to rest, to breathe, to absorb everything your practice just taught you. Did your body learn anything in going through these asana? As you lie here, relax your face, your forehead. Feel softness behind your eyes. Soften your cheeks. Unclench your teeth. And let your tongue come away from the roof of your mouth. Every exhale is an invitation to surrender, to let go of the holding and the doing. Take a few deep breaths. And as you do, start to move your body in any way that feels just right to you. You can start small and make your way into larger joints, muscles, bones. Let out a nice loud yawn. And begin the journey back to a seat. As we finish this practice, I just want to leave you with a question and maybe a little challenge. Today is Ash Wednesday, which is the first day of Lent for people who celebrate the Christian traditions, many Christian traditions. It's a day of giving something up for 40 days. So, my question for you as a yogi is, where in your life could you give up violence or harm? Where in your life might you be able to give up untruthful speaking or even thinking? Where can you give up taking what doesn't belong to you? Is there anything in there? We always go to the typical: give up smoking, stop drinking, give up sugar. Maybe there's something in this practice that you're willing to let go of for 40 days. A good place to start would be self-judgment and negative self-talk. Thank you so much for being on your mat with me this morning. This gesture is of deep gratitude to each of you. Have a beautiful day. Stay warm. Namaste.